Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and I promise today's video is going to be so worth it. So stay tuned so you can watch me transform this white men's shirt into a really cute airy summer top. I so much love how this top turned out, and it's so easy and straightforward to achieve, so I'll encourage you to actually go for it. So we'll start by tracing out a part of the top of the shirt that I won't need for this project. I'm eyeballing this, so forgive me for not necessarily having measurements, but I'm just going from one tiny corner of the shoulder down to the chest area to the other shoulder. I'm doing this with my white chalk that no one in life can actually see, but don't worry, I'm sick of my bad behavior too, and I have ordered colored chalks that are on their way. But for now, this is all I have. When you're doing this, make sure you use something that's visible. Once I'm done tracing, I'm just going to cut out the piece of the cloth that I don't need and chuck it away like it's bad vibes. The buttons and its holes in the front are going to be useless for this project, so I want to sort of get rid of it, So I'm going to turn the shirt inside out and bring out the front to meet, pin it down, and then sew it closed. It should look like this when it's done, probably one of the neatest sewings I've ever done. I don't know why, for some reason I always thought I'd be bad at this, but it turns out you actually get better with time. So if you're just learning, don't worry, keep at it, you get better. Anyway, once I'm done, I cut out the thick pieces, but I'm actually saving the buttons because I'm on a mission to not be wasteful, and maybe one day they'll come in handy. Since the gap in our front shirt is closed now, I turn the shirt inside out and begin double folding at the top of the shirt. And this is to hide the fraying that usually happens with these clothing materials, something I find so frustrating and so disrespectful. So I'm double folding at the top and pinning it all the way down around so that it can be super easy for me when I sew. After sewing, it should look neat and tidy like mine, or you're cancelled. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. I don't know why. I'm just so excited that my sewings are not ratchet anymore. I'm making 3-inch marks on 5 corners of my shirt, both at the front and at the back, and then I'm drawing a straight line across. I'm using the marks that I just made as a guide. I'm going to actually sew an elastic band on the line that I've just made, but I'll need the measurements around my shoulder to know how much elastic I need. Dad, okay, about 39 inches? 39 inches is the total length around my shoulders, and if I take 3/4 of that, it brings me to about 29 inches, which will be the total length of my elastic band for the shoulder area. Once I've figured that out, I'm going to pin my elastic down to the 4 corners of my shirt using the line I just made as a guide. Once it's pinned, I can sew it with a zigzag stitch. I've attached a clip from another YouTube called Stalk My Closet showing you how to do this. I figured there's no point pretending to be the expert since I sort of just learned the process. So I wanted you to learn from someone who's actually an OG, My elastic is attached to the top of my shirt, but I honestly forgot to get footage of it. But don't worry, you'll see it eventually. Once that's done, I'm measuring about 9 inches down from where my top elastic is and marking that 9-inch spot and then drawing a line across. This line will be used for my second elastic. Once the first line is drawn, I'm going to go ahead and freestyle draw a second line just about 2 inches below it and then cut out the excess material at the bottom. I'm now double folding the bottom of my shirt, obviously because the frays and the nasty threads are not my friend. And once I'm done double folding and pinning, I can sew down like the expert that I am slowly becoming. I'm ready to sew my bottom elastic now, so I need the measurements for that area. and then 3/4 of that measurement for my elastic band. And you know the drill. I attach the elastic band to the line I just drew, and then I sew it down. Make sure that you're sewing this on the wrong side of the shirt, not on the right side of the shirt, if you know what I mean. So the elastic band should be inside the shirt, not outside the shirt. Moving on to my sleeves, I don't want that bulky part of my sleeve, so I'm going to get rid of it on both sides. And once I'm done that, I'm using my seam ripper to rip the buttons on the sleeves, because I like to save the buttons, as you already know. Once the buttons are out, I can cut out the thick parts on both sides there, because I don't need it at all for this project and it needs to go. Once that part's gone, I'm going to pin down the 2 corners, inside facing inside, and then sew the gap closed on both ends, just because I really don't want that gap open. The bottom piece of the shirt comes in very handy for my sleeves, so I'm just going to cut out the pieces into 2 and make sure that they're equal. Once that's done, I'm going to sew a basting stitch at the top of each of the pieces, one that will allow me to sort of ruffle the material. And with my basting stitch, I can take one thread. I usually go for the top thread and then pull on the thread gently while pushing on the material. And this will push the materials together so that it can match the circumference of my sleeves. And the reason I'm trying to match the circumference of the ends of my sleeves is because I will be attaching the bell sleeves to the sleeves. Oh, so redundant, but you guys know what I mean. The measurement should come to about 10 inches for both pieces. Once I'm all done that, I'm going to bring both ends and close that gap there. I'm just making sure it's turned inside out as well and sewing it closed so that I have something to attach to my sleeves with ease. And when I'm attaching them to my sleeves, I'm going to also make sure that my shirt is turned right side out and my sleeves are turned right side in. That way, right side of my shirt is facing the right side of my sleeves. I'm just saying this because this sewing stuff can get pretty confusing and I don't want anyone ending up with a clown costume. Once I'm done pinning it down, I take it to my sewing machine and I sew away. I need elastic bands for the wrist area, so just measure that area and cut out 3/4 whatever your number is, and then attach the elastic band to the sewing that you just did. This part is tricky, but if I can do it, you can too. Hola. So I don't love how big this is. Just looks hella awkward. So I'm gonna fold it in a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna fold it in and sew it down, and then we'll call it a day. I'm almost done. Once I folded the top parts in by 1 inch and sewed it down, the outfit looked more sane and more wearable, I guess. I think I did a decent job on this and I'm glad I tried it out, but let me know in the comment section what you think. I kind of struggled to get to work this week, so this is a huge achievement for me. But anyway, have a lovely week and see you next time. Bye!